It looks like the Trump administration has decided that the number one go-to person now with regard to the Epstein cover-up is going to be Vice President JD Vance. And after all, why not, right? I mean, the guy has spent the first 7 months of his time in office going on vacation after vacation. So yeah, kind of seems like he needs something to do. So let's put him in charge of a scandal that he's not even a part of. So what better way to do it? A guy that knows nothing about it to be the guy to run interference in the media. And JD Vance did exactly that this past weekend. And like every other time JD Vance has gotten involved in the Epstein scandal, he made things so much worse for Donald Trump. Like humiliatingly worse, embarrassingly worse, hilariously worse. Because on Sunday, JD Vance went on Maria Bartiromo's, Fox News Futures program and was asked about the Epstein stuff. And here's what JD Vance had to say. "I have to say, Maria, I laugh at the Democrats who are now all of a sudden so interested in the Epstein files. For 4 years, Joe Biden and the Democrats did absolutely nothing about this story. We know that Jeffrey Epstein had a lot of connections with left-wing politicians and left-wing billionaires. And now President Trump has demanded full transparency from this, and yet somehow the Democrats are attacking him and not the Biden administration, which did nothing for 4 years?" Now, I assume you can go ahead and see why that's even worse for Donald Trump. Because if the files were filled with Democrats, Democratic politicians, Democratic billionaires, because, there's just tons of Democratic billionaires walking around funding everything on the left. That's why the Republicans always talk about George Soros. And that's kind of where the list ends, right? But apparently, there's so many left-wing billionaires out there that we don't even know how many there are, which comes as a shock to somebody that has been with different media outlets over the years that have had to beg Democratic millionaires, not even billionaires, to help fund things, and they've routinely refused to do any of that. So sure, that's totally believable, JD. But JD Vance's claim that obviously the files are filled with the names of Democrats backfired spectacularly when folks on social media, including conservatives, said, "Great, then release the files so that we can expose all the Democrats." So you even had people in MAGA, like not even anti-Trump Republicans, pro-Trump MAGA merch wearing freaks, go out there and say, "JD, if this is full of Democrats, why are you not releasing it?" This now makes even less sense for you guys to be covering it up if what you're saying is true, which obviously even a good portion of MAGA understands that, yeah, there's Democrats in the files. But if there were enough to really cause any damage to the Democratic Party, y'all would have been the first people to release them 10 seconds after Trump was sworn in. You didn't do it because you're protecting Donald Trump himself. Look, is Bill Clinton in there? Probably. Does anybody on the left care that Bill Clinton's in there? Like, are we going to lose sleep and have to throw away all of our Bill Clinton merchandise? No, because we do not worship him as a god the same way Republicans do with Donald Trump. If he's in there, if he was doing illegal things, take his ass down. We don't want him. If there's any other Democratic politicians or Democratic billionaires in there, let us know so we can also not associate with those people anymore so that we may shun them from the party. Right? We kind of do need to know that. And by the way, we want to know that. We don't want the names of Democrats redacted. We don't want these people to get off scot-free. We want accountability for the left, for the right, for the center, for everybody, for the business leaders. But most importantly, we want justice for the victims. Because regardless of who is on that list, these people on there are predators. Predators that preyed upon these underage girls for God knows how long, destroying lives in the process. Those victims have never gotten justice. and they deserve it. They deserve to watch these men who did unspeakable things to them go down. This isn't about politics. This is about what these victims deserve. It's about what the perpetrators deserve. And the public deserves to know who these perverts and predators are so that we can shun them from society forever. So JD, we're not afraid of Democrats being on that list. You can't say the same about Republicans, though.